Yeah, Florida. Yeah, I'm just over the state. Like
Wait,
as a state. As an entire state. I was thinking about if I were to win the Powerball, right, where I would live. And I can't do Florida. There's hurricanes there like every week.
Bora Bora. I'm out. I'm just straight to Bora Bora, buying my own island. It's gonna be awesome.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a good idea. When y'all
Yeah.
win the Powerball, don't forget about your little friends, okay? I'm
Oh,
just
it's too late. The person in California won. Somebody in California won $2 billion,
No
and it was
oh
shot.
not me.
my oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Maybe
I
I'm
think
friends with them.
Right, right,
right.
right.
I
Hold
was
on.
gonna
Go
say
check.
if
Maybe.
anyone won, it's more likely someone you know than someone we know.
Right.
Like, what are the odds of them being like a relative of mine, like a cousin?
They probably
Oh
wouldn't
my
say
god.
shit. I wouldn't. I
Right,
wouldn't be
no.
surprised.
Right?
The only
Especially
way
when
you'd
they
ever
keep
know if I
score.
won is I just disappeared. No one would ever see me again. It's
Exactly.
just like,
No,
Exactly.
no,
is he
no.
dead or did he win the Powerball?
We all of a
Yeah.
sudden would see political tweets, and your location on your tweets would be from Bora Bora.
Bora Bora.
Exactly.
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 Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. So
No.
where is this? Altadena, California.
Yeah.
Altadena. Oh man.
I don't even
I
know.
think
I've
they
never
have
even heard of
to.
that.
Yeah, and I think they have to reveal their identity out there, right? Like if
And
they win in California, in that state, you have to reveal
But
yourself.
they have a certain amount of time. They have a certain amount of time to come forward to their name and their for their identity to be revealed. So they might wait until like it's died down a bit before they come forward.
right, right, and be like, "Hello, I'm here."
Because remember, they have to like hire an attorney. Like this is what you're supposed to do, right? Like hire an attorney and all these other peeps to handle your money that you don't know how to handle. So
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
People
Well,
significantly
anyway,
smarter.
I'm sorry if
yeah.
you're listening from Florida and you just feel like I came out of nowhere to attack y'all. I hope you're safe in this hurricane, in this tropical storm. I will say, uh, without revealing my actual day job, I just feel like we're not the people you want to contact during this time. I feel like you guys have other important things to do than worry about our stuff. So if you got some kind of national natural disaster going on, maybe prioritize like I don't know, getting food and shelter and all that stuff.
Stop
Don't call
talking to me.
yeah, don't call
um
companies. Yeah, they they're gotta be at the bottom of your list, okay?
wait. I feel like this needs a story time.
Nah, I don't want to reveal too much.
No,
It
no,
just
okay,
it
but can I ask yes or no question?
what's that?
You
Let's see.
for real are having people contact y'all in amidst a crisis like a natural disaster about
All day.
Florida people,
oh
man. Yeah, it's just
heaven.
Florida
All day.
people.
All day.
Uh-uh.
Like we're the most important thing of this disaster. I'm
Uh-uh.
like, we're the last people y'all need to be calling right now.
Uh-uh. Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
that's too funny.
Okay. Okay, that's
Yeah.
it. That was my one question, Raw. That's it. I will not ask any more questions.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
It's just yeah, I just got off of one of those calls before jumping on this podcast. So that was fun.
Oh, you're
Hence why
like,
I'm late, as usual.
you're good. You're right on time.
Right
You
on
are
time.
right on time.
Nailed it.
uh anyway, y'all, we had a headache of a game last week on
I'm
Sunday.
I
Woo!
am just yeah, how are we
Woo!
feeling week 9? How's it going? I'm going through the crisis right now. Like I just realized I've done zero Christmas shopping. So that's where most of my
I
headache is.
saw. See, I'm actually ahead on that. I'm actually
Look
ahead.
at
I
you go.
haven't finished my shopping, but I have done most of my planning. Like I know what everyone's getting. It's just the process of a lot of it's like electronics, so I do kind of want to wait till Black Friday just to kind of see what
Mm,
Mm.
deals pop up and all that stuff. But I do know what they're getting. You know what I'm saying? Which sometimes you're just kind of like, what are we gonna do here?
yeah,
Gift card,
gift
you
card.
know?
Hey, gift
And
card's the best
also,
present.
it really is, but also, like, how are we already here?
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
still
Oh,
trying to wrap my brain around this, my very tired brain around this.
Right.
I'm mentally still in July.
Right? I'm with you. I'm with you. Exactly. I
And
just
it doesn't
I cannot believe it.
and it doesn't help that, like, going back to the weather real quick. I live in Texas, y'all. It doesn't help that okay, when you have seasons, right? We're not gonna get too deep. I know it's election day. We're not gonna get too deep into politics, but there's just, there's the belief that the seasons are going away, right? And I gotta say, I'm used to the creatures, the bugs, the wasp, and all that stuff. They used to die around this time. They're still here. They're the biggest lizards I've ever seen, just crawling around my garage. Wasp somehow getting in my house. I'm like, y'all aren't supposed to be here right now.
Yeah.
It's November.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I
it's-
feel that though. I feel that very deeply because I'm the same with like mosquitoes and critters that serve no purpose
Yes.
whatsoever except to bite me and my boys and leave the biggest welts behind.
Just annoy the
These
daylights.
these lizards get attitude with me. Not try to shoo them away. Like, they looked at me like, no, this is my spot.
This is my house. Like, no, it
You're
ain't.
Yeah.
in the way.
You're not paying rent.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Get out of here.
So
Well,
yeah,
Geico
so
Gecko.
you're not getting any relief from the lizards. Like, okay, so
No relief from the lizards, barely any relief from the heat. It is November. What are we doing, people? What is
That's
happening right now?
amazing.
Okay. That's a different conversation. We're just not going to talk about that right now. But
we'll circle back when the weather keeps going this way, right? And
yeah.
in the future here. Oh goodness. Well, should we talk about the lovely Sunday night then?
Woo.
And that too. That was just frustrating as well.
So
It's been a bad week.
I
I'm
do have to
sorry.
get this off my chest. I've reached a point in my life I realized this Sunday night where like the thing I hate more than anything when it comes to football is watching a nighttime primetime game and it go to overtime. I'm sitting there like I have to wake up and go to work tomorrow. And you guys can't wrap this game up into 3.5
Yeah.
hours that I'm expecting. Like it's 11 o'clock. I want to go to bed. Can we please just be done?
It was rough. It was rough.
That being said, though, can't be mad about a Chiefs win.
No, thank God, because that could have ended so differently, of course. But I just have to say, I feel for all of my Midwest, East Coast friends because I used to be there and I used to think the exact same thing. I'm like, it's late enough already.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get a little bit spoiled, living on the West Coast where games tip off or kick off at 5:15, 5:20 my time.
Jealous. So
And
jealous.
I don't have to be up until 11 p.m. or midnight in some cases.
Very, very jealous of that.
But yeah, when we were creeping towards potentially going into overtime, I was like, oh boy. Oh boy.
I tweeted out like the one good thing about Butker missing those 2 kicks is it made it way more unlikely for the game to end in a tie. And then of course it ended 17-17.
It
And I'm
did.
sitting there just like, you fuckers.
Way to jinx us, Billy. Way to jinx us.
Like, God, of course it had to happen. Man,
It's because we heard you talking
they
giving
did.
flack about this whole kicker situation
They did.
for all your life, so
Oh man, it's just it's so sad. But hey, 2017 after an overtime drive where of course the game ended because we kicked a field goal and won off of that. Brilliant defensive play all game long.
all game long.
On both sides of the ball, to be honest.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah. Any thoughts about the game itself? When we talk about the game from Sunday, what's the thing that sticks out the most for you all?
We didn't run the ball.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I thought I didn't want to crowbar that into the conversation. Like,
We tried.
maybe
Don't
somebody's going to
worry,
have a
I
more.
will.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe someone's going to have a more intellectual point that I just missed because yes. Somebody. Okay, so does anyone have this number? Because I tried to look it up.
I got
think
you.
Stephen A. said we only had 4 rushing attempts. Is that true?
We had
No.
7. No, we had 8 rushing attempts that weren't Mahomes carrying the ball. 4 of them were CEH. 3 of them were Jerick McKinnon, and 1 of them was Michael Burton. Can you guess?
Gotcha,
Can you
okay.
guess how many yards we got from 8 carries?
50.
24.
9.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
8 carries, and we didn't even get enough yardage to get a first down.
Oh my gosh.
Now, Mahomes had 6 carries for 63 yards, and you already know, I think all of them weren't planned carries by any means. So he's out there scrambling, getting 10 yards a scramble, while the rest of our team is trying to figure out where the line of scrimmage is.
Oh my god. It was, we looked a mess, and it was very baffling to see, especially because coming off a bye week, historically we've been so good, so disciplined, so strong coming off the bye week that this was like, what is happening?
It's
Yeah, it was rough.
Very rough. But yeah, complete lack of the utilization of the run game. And I just could not believe it. I just, we know what happens when our team doesn't run the ball at least so many times throughout the entire game. And it was like things just fell apart offensively. I don't know that things were ever together offensively, but things just fell apart offensively until that point in the game when Mahomes took everything and strapped it on his back, you know?
just
Um,
carried our team kicking and screaming all the
oh,
way
my
down.
heavens. Like that was a game that had Mahomes and defense not had didn't do what they were able to do, we would have lost this game. That was our game to lose.
Yep. We
So,
we had 9 total points in the first 3 quarters. 3 of it was in the first quarter, 6 of it straddled first, second quarter, and of course
mhm.
was capped by the missed PAT. It wasn't until then, towards the bottom of the fourth quarter, that we scored again. That
Oh,
happened, the screenplay itself, let me see if I can see the exact timestamp on this. With 3 minutes left in the game is when Mahomes scrambled for that touchdown. So we went
oh,
essentially 30 minutes, 35 minutes without a
yeah,
score.
yeah.
And it's not like it was a case where, we were getting close and just bad luck, all that kind of stuff. Now here, I'm have a huge history of being very, very successful after a bye week, and this was looking like, I don't know, middle of December. We haven't had a break in about 5 years, and half our players can't even, uh, run for longer than 10 yards without having to collapse over in exhaustion. It was insane.
And it
Oh,
feels like a broken record. Like we always complain about the lack of utilization of the run game, and like we actually have proven this season that when we use it, it works and we win games. When we
right.
don't, I mean, we won this game, but I mean, it wasn't like a clean win. And I know, to be honest, the Titans, I think they know how to play us. It's been like a couple of years, right? Like it is kind of a rough go when it comes to them, but still.
If
Um,
if I'm recalling the stat correctly, because speaking of the Titans and playing against us, Mahomes in his career has had 2 games that ended with less than double digits on the scoreboard for the Chiefs. One of them
Mhm.
was the Super Bowl where we lost 21-9 or whatever it was against the Buccaneers, and the other was last year when we played the Titans and they held us to, what was it, just a field goal. So,
right.
they do. Vrabel, obviously knows how to dial up a
We
defense
do.
against us. Um,
They've
it
got our
Took
number for
Travis
sure.
out.
it almost worked again, yeah.
Yeah, it took Travis out. They weren't able to rely on him as
So
much.
you know what the crazy
No.
thing is with that though is, like, we feel like Travis Kelce didn't play in the game that much. He got targeted 17 times. He had 10 catches still and 100 yards.
Oh, that is
Wow.
that's crazy when you hit the numbers on there.
I
Yeah.
think though, because some of those catches that would have been big clutch catches, it didn't happen, right?
Yeah,
So I think that stood out to a lot of us as fans, as opposed to like, but when you think about when you hear that number of 100, over 100, yeah, he did make some huge big catches, so I could see, but they were few and far between, right? And they were big enough that a few of them added up to that 100. So.
yeah, but yeah,
Uh,
yeah, like Ra was just saying though, you go to any fan, you tell me even, before I look at the stats, did Travis Kelce have an impact on this game? And the answer is no. It didn't feel like he did at
right.
all.
Right. Did not feel that way, and then you hear it though. But I think that mentality though for parts of this team is very true though. We think about like, oh, Mahomes didn't have his greatest game. Oh, but he still had over 400 yards, which for any other quarterback would be a fantastic game.
Mm.
So that sort of mentality as a Chiefs fan, it gets to us sometimes.
Now, knowing 8 total carries is not a huge number by any means, it still feels like a significant amount that showing up with only 9 yards running is a pathetic showing there. Do you all
Uh-huh.
think that we didn't go to the run game in this game because Bieniemy and co are looking at the stats and seeing we're getting 1 yard a play when we do run it? Why would we keep trying to run it? Because was it a failure of the play calling giving the running backs a chance to make enough plays, or was it the running backs failing the play calling to justify calling a run play?
Hmm.
I got nothing.
Because it feels like Titans defense probably good enough to shut down the run game. That's why we don't do the run game, right?
Right.
But like the rest of the season, with the exception of what maybe 2 games, 1 game if that, it just feels like our running backs haven't done anything to inspire us attempting a run.
Right.
And
There hasn't been a lot.
the crazy thing for me too is that Pacheco started as the running back in our game.
Right.
The first snap of the game, first couple of snaps of the game, he was in the backfield. He has 0 attempts at running though.
So
They were able to stop him pretty quickly. When he had the ball the few times this week,
But the
they
only time we utilized him was in the passing game. We never handed the ball off to him.
So wait, you're
Yeah.
saying you're saying that the team is not inspired by the run? Like you don't think that the run game has been productive enough to the coaches?
I think that's the issue here. Yeah.
So
But how?
well,
But then back to like what started this argument
Hmm.
or this discussion?
Just
Like, how can we say that it's productive or not productive if it doesn't get utilized at all? Like,
'cause
are we talking there's like zero faith whatsoever in our running back committee? Like
yeah,
it comes down to that. Is there like no faith whatsoever?
and I don't really even know where that comes from because I still have the stat up like from the first 6 games. When our 4 wins during the first 6 games, we averaged 128 yards on the ground. In the 2
Mm-hmm.
losses, we averaged 68 yards. So it showed the
See?
run game was working.
hmm
So I don't know what else
Right.
they need. Like, I mean, obviously we have Mahomes, so he's gonna be him and Kelsey are gonna be a huge part of the offense regardless. So it's not like we're gonna
hmm
turn into a running team. We don't have like a Derrick Henry. It's not gonna be the type of team we are, but there still could be a little bit of balance, and the
Right.
numbers show that that balance actually works.
I think
The
for
balance does work, but why don't we? I feel like we talk about this, we discuss this every season
every
when we
week
lose a
almost, yeah.
game, or when we come close to losing a game and where we could have utilized our weapons better.
I think to me this smacks of an issue in practice more than anything. If we only gave our players 8 attempts to run the ball, and one of them was a fullback, so you can hardly even count that anyways. Um,
Right.
if you're not even willing to make the play call to let that happen, it's what's happening outside of Sunday that's impacting that, I feel. So something has to be, in my mind, going on the practice field. Like, is it our offensive line just failing to, pull stunts or open up the gaps, even against our own practice defense, so they know that they can't do it against an actual NFL defense? Or is it the running backs just, I mean, things aren't clicking there or whatever? Because, yeah, as we were just saying, we've proven we can pass the ball. That's not an issue.
Mhm.
Even the guy who we feel wasn't involved in the game still got 100 yards passing. It's this is has to be something has to be happening during the week in order to prevent this from occurring. And what's crazy
Mhm.
for me is that Bieniemy was a running back himself, right?
Mhm.
So like there's no way he doesn't know the power of a run game.
Right.
So like
Was he a good running back?
I mean, right, right. Like, we have to question. Um, Yeah, I don't know. It feels like something must be happening on the practice field, and they're concerned that's going to carry over. In my mind, that smacks of our running backs are constantly fumbling the ball, during practice. So you don't want to put it in their hands because they're going to turn it over left and right. I think that's crazy because CEH during the entirety of his professional career has barely fumbled at all.
Hmm.
Um, and Pacheco and McKinnon, have proven to be able to hold on to it. So who knows if that's the issue? It's not like we have Sky
Yeah,
Moore back there taking a handoff. Um,
poor
it's
kid.
poor guy. Yeah, it's crazy. And the stats, yeah, like you were saying, the stats show that if we get the ball in our running backs' hands, we more easily win a game.
Right,
What's happening to prevent the play calls from being there? So.
right. And I don't know, you guys, like maybe it's a little bit old school, but the idea behind marching down the field, getting 4 to 6 to 7 yards a time in a run play, it still makes sense. Like, not, it doesn't have to be a flashy long pass every single time.
Oh no, we're Kansas
Yeah.
City fans. I mean, we're used to Marcus Allen. We're used to Priest Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
wow, I might really
Jamal Charles.
Jamal Charles. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was thinking that who's the guy who is in between Charles and Priest Holmes? Oh, criminy. Now I really feel
Marcus,
it.
between Priest and Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Hmm.
Yes, thank you.
and I mean, even after Jamal Charles is gone, we still have like at the least flashes of brilliance from running backs.
Right. Right.
Who knows?
So, yeah.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
That
And
being
it's just, I think that was the most glaring part of that game for me was just the frustration and not not utilizing our backs.
mm,
So that was a very glaring point for me, especially because so many of our receivers like couldn't catch the ball. We had like the ball would bounce, the ball would bobble. Oh my heavens! Yep.
Mahomes attempted 68 passes. One of them was intercepted off of bouncing off of Travis Kelce's
Mm,
hands.
mm-hmm.
43 of them in total were complete. So what? At that point, you're looking at 25 passes. So almost a third of the passes, or even more than a third of the passes there, were in some way, shape, or form incomplete.
Yeah.
We know Mahomes is going to hit your number, on your chest 9 times out of 10. So I think it's safe to say that a lot of them were probably dropped passes, and it did feel like
Mm-hmm.
we were constantly dropping the ball there. Um, the even crazier stat for me: 43 of 68 when it comes to completion attempts, 446 yards, one touchdown through the air.
Yeah.
You don't expect that with 446. Because
Mm.
on the flip side of the ball, Willis had 5 completions on 16 attempts, and
That it?
they had us tied.
Wow.
Yeah, but they used their run game.
Right?
They
Yeah.
sure do.
Derrick Henry, 17 carries, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
I mean, just ridiculous. They didn't have a
that man.
single, if I'm remembering correctly, they didn't have a single wide receiver catch a ball on
I don't
Sunday.
think so. It was running backs and tight ends. Woo, they got some big tight ends.
Going into this game, I was like, who do they even have left? Like AJ Brown's gone, Julio Jones is gone. Like,
Speaking of AJ Brown, did you all see his tweet during the game?
What do you
no, I
say?
didn't. What did he say?
It was pretty much something along the lines of like, y'all miss me now or something like that. Or, it's
Oh
like no
no, he did
receiver
not.
catching the ball. Oh, I'm going to have to find it exactly and shoot it around. Oh my goodness. Let's see.
Those things are so petty.
I
Right.
find
So
it, yes, I
salty.
find it so entertaining how petty players get, especially in this day and
Yeah.
age when you can put it out there to the internet to everybody. And during the game, oh man.
He has
That's
since
funny.
deleted it, but yeah,
Oh,
he tweeted out "Ain't nobody open" with the crying emoji during the game, and then
uh,
a little laughing gif. But I mean, man.
oh, it makes it even better that he went back and deleted it. Oh my
Right,
gosh.
right. He probably had to delete it when he realized like they still might win. So he's just like, wait a second, let's
Wow.
walk this one back so I don't look too much silly.
Oh
Oh
my
man.
god.
That's hilarious.
Ah. Um. I think that the most damning indictment of our running backs, though, for sure, for me personally, is just the fact that uh, Tony had more fantasy points than CEH did on Sunday. Yeah. I think CH had a total of like 2.6 points or something like that, and Tony
Yeah, I
had like
know. Thanks for
three.
reminding me.
Oh yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, you're welcome. Tony still had like 3.5 or whatever if you're in a PPR. I'm sure it was a little bit less, and probably below CH than in that case. But man, a guy who only involvement during the entire game was on the very first play of the game and walked home with more fantasy points. Just
That is
beautiful.
insane. Oh my gosh. Oh.
To skip through that though, Sky Moore no longer returning punts. Saw Nicole Hardman
Nope.
back there.
Yep. What do you think about this?
I'm all for giving Moore a little more attempts, a couple muff punts, whatever that happens, especially since he's a rookie. And then I saw Nicole Hardman running him back. I'm like, nah, Moore can stay on the sideline. Hardman's just better. Period.
What did we
He is
say?
better, but also in that same breath here, I need McColl to not zigzag back and forth as much.
He's out there trying to look like
I
Dante
know.
Hall.
I know he's not the joystick, right? He's not the human joystick like Dante. So, but I feel like McColl needs, like, if he's going to be in that position and trusted with that position, yes, we know you're fast, but you know what? You cutting back and forth on the field, back and forth, is not as efficient as you just taking the knee if you are to get the ball near the 40-yard line, for example, or something like that. I don't know. There were a few instances where I was like, just take the touch back.
Just call a fair catch.
Neil, just please, yeah, fair catch. Just go.
We talked about this, a couple weeks ago? Like, should Sky Moore lose his spot if he keeps messing up? And I guess they decided this was the route they're going to go. I mean, we're getting toward, getting close to the second half of the season, right? So if he doesn't have it by now, it's kind of like, maybe next year, buddy. Maybe next year. But we're about winning games right now. It's no longer about developing.
I'm personally, and I know you missed out last week, but Hung and I talked about Tony had actually returned punts in college. So part of me was thinking when we made that trade, would that be, kind of the gap he filled in? He didn't show up once. I was surprised to see. Honestly, I was a little bit surprised that it was Hardman back there. He's obviously able to do it. He's done it in the past for our team. It's just he's supposed to be, like everybody talks about, our de facto, Hill replacement. So you don't want to put him in special teams because that significantly increases his chance of injury when he's supposed to be our speedster. Sky Moore deserved to lose the spot for sure. He didn't do anything to keep it. Who knows if Hardman will keep returning it? Justin Watson had a really great return. Maybe he'll be back there some. It'll be. I doubt we see. Oh, sorry.
Well, I was going to say we could see Tony. I mean, it's his first week as a Chief, right? So, I mean, maybe Tobe needs a couple looks at him in that position, and then we might see him, in these next couple games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts on the game before I explode and talk about Harrison Butker?
Okay. Well, wait. You're talking about Harrison Butker in general, or just in that game?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I just
yes.
I just wanted to point out that I got one part of my score prediction correct, and that the Titans would have 17 points. I just wanted to,
Yeah, Rob missed out. Rob missed on his, that's for sure.
He really did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob, you said the Titans were going to win 60-0. Shame on you.
You missed the show, and they turned you into a Benedict Arnold on this podcast. You missed the episode. No matter if you have any family personal issues, just no, you know what? He's a Titans fan now.
We're savages.
Right.
So now I can't ever teach you guys how to broadcast this, so that you can do the same to me.
So true. I promise you won't figure it out either.
Why did we let him hold all the keys, Rob?
I know.
I'm getting on YouTube after this. We'll figure it out.
He's gonna download everything, learn it, be a streaming pro.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep. Same.
um, no, I really
All
do have
right.
I have to complain. Butker this year has a
Go
60%
ahead.
conversion rate when it comes to
Yeah.
kicks. And
What is going on? Like,
more importantly, the Chiefs have attempted about the same number of fourth down conversions as Butker's attempted field goals, and the Chiefs have converted 60% of those. We are just as likely to convert a fourth down as our kicker is to convert a field goal.
Wow.
okay, so honest question. Aside from your disdain for kickers in general in this game, seriously, what is happening? And like, do we really feel that he is not healed from his injury? What is going on? Because his accuracy prior to his injury stint here this season, his accuracy was so
Yeah,
on point. You know, he
he's
didn't necessarily have like the Justin Tucker leg that could kick from the other 40-yard line, but still.
prior to this year, he kicked something like 89-90% accuracy, which even I'll begrudge is enough to want to keep a kicker on the team. You know, I'd say I think he was the third most
Right?
accurate kicker after Justin Tucker, and then I believe Suckup. I'm not entirely sure about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like the third most accurate kicker. I think you hit the nail on the head. He must not be fully recovered from his injury.
Mm-hmm.
You know, looking at
Yeah.
the snaps, it seems like the laces are out. The snaps are fine. It's not insane distances. He missed a PAT, which should be an automatic thing. It has to
Yeah.
be injury, right?
That's the only thing. That is the variable. That is the only thing, y'all. And I'm not sure. I feel like we never really get to know the true extent of our players' injuries because the coaching staff and the medical staff do like a really good job about like skirting around it for us.
Right.
So we don't get the full extent. So I don't know, but like I'm thinking of like my own ankle sprain that happened to me in January of this year, and it is now November, and my ankle is not the same. Now, you know, given I'm not an elite performing athlete with a medical care team around me, but still he was only out several weeks. And so that feels like it's still that injury, it's injury related still because you can't go from having that nearly 90% success rate to having the 60 some percent success rate in a matter of these last several weeks. So it's baffling. And if he needs to heal. Justin Reed has got your back, bro.
Or just go for fourth down. I mean, like to let him
That's
heal and
fine
then
too.
just go for it on fourth. You know,
Yep.
oh man, raw thoughts. What do we do? Are we sacrificing Butker, getting rid of him, or
Yeah, it's definitely it's either the injury. I was thinking I guess confidence because it's like I didn't know like I'm not a kicker, so it's like is it really that does it really throw you off that much? But I guess so. Like I guess it's like he just does not feel there's no way he feels 100%.
Mhm.
And that's probably affecting his mental too. So he's just kind of off right
Well,
now and well,
and oh, I was just gonna say, and like confidence wise and everything, you know, you go through an injury like that. The aspect of, especially if you're not 100%, the worry and the fears that can creep in about you re-injuring an already
yeah,
injured.
true,
Yeah.
true.
Well, especially with how much pressure you do put on your plant foot, right? It's just like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's got to be insane. Like that's almost as important as the foot you're actually kicking with, if not more so. And
Right.
yeah, if that's not going well, then you're in trouble.
Yeah. Um, Too bad I mean, yeah, Justin Reed. I mean, I guess we can maybe look at him right there because I mean, we did try to bring other kickers in and they all fucked up. So it's like,
They were not for us.
I
yeah,
think
I
I
mean,
think you run into a small problem in this exact situation though, because we do have Harrison Butker, arguably top three kicker, or inarguably a top three kicker in the NFL, right? So he twists his ankle,
right.
can't plant as well. What you would do 9 times out of 10, and one of the reasons Ryan Suckup is over in Tampa Bay right now is typically when your kicker hurts themselves, you drop them from the team, you bring in the replacement, Bob's your uncle. You move on with your life, right?
Right.
But when you have Harrison Butker on your team, you can't do that
Right.
because he
Yeah.
is a top 3 kicker. So instead, you have to
Right.
waste a roster spot on bringing in somebody else. No genuinely great kicker is going to look at your team, see that you still have Harrison Butker on the roster, know that they're not even going to have a job in about 4 weeks, and they're like, no, thank you. I'm not
Right.
going to, come and break my leg for you guys for, you know, 3 weeks and then just get replaced again. So they're all holding out. So you get the dregs of it all, and that's just a big issue. Like, I agree, we
Yeah.
shouldn't move on from Harrison Butker. That would be foolish of us to do, but it puts you in
Right.
such a tough spot that you then have to like be looking at players you're not going to keep around. So you're signing contracts for these other players that the only players you can get with the sole intention of you're gone the second this guy's good.
Right.
So it's such a funky spot to be in.
But isn't that a kicker's life? I mean, that is a
Yeah, I was gonna
position,
say that's a
unfortunately.
check.
Right? Yeah. It's your job is like a couple weeks at a time.
Right.
And that's sadly your game.
It's just I think
But
for me, and of course, who knows what the space actually looks like, and I have no idea what the free agency even looks like for kickers right now. Is I almost be more willing to just hold on and wait till I can get a more permanent role, because I mean, once Suckup left the team, we had Cairo Santos, who ended up kicking for us for
yeah.
another 2-3 years until he got
Hmm.
hurt and then immediately
Right.
replaced. But it's like that's just what you do. So if you're somebody like a Santos or a Suckup or whomever, you want to hold out for that role that becomes a little more permanent versus
Yeah.
a couple of $10,000 checks, and then you don't know when your career is going to end. Oh, by the way, you just moved halfway across the country. You incurred all this debt from this move. You just forced your family to
Right.
uproot and blah 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 blah. Kind of thing. Who
Yeah.
knows if that's what's going through their heads? If I'm an NFL kicker, I'm paying for a hotel for a few weeks, right? It's like you'll be okay, and then you
Hmm.
can just go back home after you cash those checks. But I think those guys want to look for a little more permanent home when they know Harrison Butker is going to be coming back in 6 weeks' time, and we're not cutting him at any point. There's no way, even if he does have 60%, we'll just be like, well, you'll just be back next year. Well, okay, great, but let's hope we don't lose a Super Bowl because of it.
Right. I mean, hopefully, you said about losing the Super Bowl.
It
There's
won't
still
be that.
time
Yeah,
between
it's
that.
not going to be that
Yeah.
bad. No.
Well, no, I mean, we don't know, but
Mm.
I would hope just there's still plenty of time between now and the playoffs that maybe he can get right. So, yeah. Hopefully it doesn't come down to that. And if there's any concern about that, like you said, they need to just go for it.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, not at this point. It'll make everything more interesting, and my heart rate will be all over the place still. So it's all good.
so we
Yeah.
need to start
There's
doing
no
for
hope
all
for
of
your,
us is
there's no hope for your heart rate.
right. Start tracking those heart rates during these kicks. It'd be great.
Oh,
Yeah.
Man.
but yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I think that just about wraps it up for this game,
Yeah.
right?
A win's a win.
Mhm.
A win's a
A
win.
win's
It
a
was
win. Hey,
ugly,
we
but
still
a win's a
won.
win. We got it out the way. I mean, we have ugly wins like this every single year, and we're always
Yep.
like, "Oh my God!" are we-"
So this actually
There's
this
no-
and that's a good point. This does bring a question into my mind because I mean, y'all are super competitive, athletic types, and all that. Do you agree at all with both what Chiefs players and coaching staff have been saying, as well as what the commentators say, is like these kind of games are more important than a blowout win because it teaches you that you can win in a gritty situation? Do you think that's good, or do you think it's like not even worth the risk to a potential number 1 seed?
No, actually, I'm kind of with them on that. I can't speak for the actual players, like what actually going through their mind, but it is kind of like this was a tough game. Like I think that, I mean, I feel like we got to give the Titans credit. They came in with a game plan to kind of shut down the Chiefs. Like their defense was getting after us good majority of the night. We just managed to be able to edge them out, but these are good games to like learn from. Just like, yo, this is the type of game that shows you like how much heart you have. Like, not every game's going to be a blowout win against like the Niners or whoever type of team. There's going to be these I would say playoff caliber team. Because you know one thing, I guess I underestimated the Titans going in. I didn't realize we had the same record
I
when going
Yeah.
into this
yeah,
game. Yeah,
zero
so I was
clue.
like, yeah, yeah. So I'm like, this is a playoff caliber team. So this is the type of competition we're going to face in the playoffs. So it's good to get like kind of this experience now during the season, and yeah, thankfully come out on top. So when we get there, we'll kind of have an idea. Just like that, just like the Buffalo game. Even though we ended up losing that game, that was an important game. That was a valuable game. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
That's just my opinion, though.
No,
I don't know
I
how you
and
yeah.
feel
I'm
about
gonna
that.
say there's certainly some truth to that. Like it teaches you a lot more than a blowout, or maybe like players on the sidelines have already kind of started to like mentally check out because you're going to win this game single easily, very easily. But on the same, like, what do we say though when we lose a game like that though? Because it really came down to the wire. It could have been either team's game, and that's the beauty of this business, is that any given Sunday. um because yes, you do learn a lot more in those grittier games and whatnot, but man, there were so many opportunities throughout to not have it be as close of a game, I feel like. um
Yeah, yeah. Mistakes, penalties. That's something we
mhm,
we haven't really talked about a lot. Definitely that stuff. It's like you've got to get that right.
yeah.
I'm trying to see if I
So
can find it. I know at some point in time during the game, Mahomes was having to scramble for more yards than he was during that Super Bowl against the Bucks. So in the Super
It looked
Bowl,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah, it looked like he was running around back there quite a bit. That's what I'm saying. Like, and I kind of maybe am going making myself sound like a hypocrite. It's like even if we had tried to run it a little bit more, they were getting in the backfield, that defense.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. I'm trying to look and see if I can find it. I don't think I'll be able to, but um, let's see. So Mahomes scrambled for I think it was about 500 yards, right, against the Bucks when we lost in the Super Bowl to them. And at some point in time during the game last night, according to Next Gen Stats, he was doing about the same. The big difference was that he was completing a lot more passes, especially when he was getting the ball out in under like what was it, 3 seconds or something like that, which I think shows that he learned from that game against the Bucks, where it's like, okay, just throw the ball, just get it out, depend on the receivers to come down with it, kind of thing. If I end up finding it, I'll say it, but yeah, it's
mhm.
just you learn from these. Me personally, as just a pure fan, I want the blowout games, of course, but
Sure.
right.
if the coaches and the team itself are saying, well, yeah, these are good because one, the Titans were good, same record going into this game, and two, they gave us a completely different look than what we see against like Herbert and the Chargers or Allen and the Bills and all that, where they lean on passing. These guys lean purely on running, as we know. So the fact that we were able to stop them, absolutely fantastic. And then yeah, our defense, like holy moly, they came out of nowhere and played lights out. So that was cool to see too. I think my only last comment
There-
is the fact that Derrick Henry can run 20 miles an hour is one of the most terrifying things in the world. It's
yeah,
just
I'm gonna move out the way if I ever have that happening towards me. Yeah.
It is it is a sight
Oh,
to behold.
it's just like, man, this guy weighs about as much as I do, and he can run a
he weighs as
lot.
much as a Mack truck, okay? So if
He
that is coming
he
at me, I'm moving out of the way. So that's all.
he looks like a player that you create on like Madden or Blitz that's like 99, like you know what I'm saying, overall or whatever.
When you're
Like he really looks
cheating,
like
yeah.
that on the field. Yeah. Like, it's
He's a
just like
cheat
how is this
code. He
man?
is a cheat code.
Yeah. How does he exist?
It's insane.
Well, and I can't remember if you guys sent it. It was in our chat from earlier today. The past, I don't know what day it is to be honest, um, but somebody had written an article talking about how Derrick Henry is going to go down with like this incredible talent, these numbers and everything else on a team that will never have the opportunity, or that doesn't have like a Super Bowl win. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So he could potentially be one of those players who just is so talented but is not on a Super Bowl caliber team.
mm. One
I
of
can't
those
remember where I
greats.
saw that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like
it's
his
just
predecessor, Eddie George.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, absolutely. And just
unless, am I wrong? Did Eddie win a Super Bowl? Maybe he
I
did.
don't
Maybe I'm
think he
wrong.
ever did, but I mean, shoot, Michael Vick's a great comparison to that too. Like
Oh
Michael.
yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
There
Michael
you
Vick
go.
literally broke the game, and in not just video game sense, like in actual NFL sense, and he never won a
Sure.
ring, so it's gonna be great. Yeah, I hope he does get a ring at some point. He will not do it with that, you
No,
know.
no, I don't watch for that. Nope,
Yeah,
sorry, not during this era. Nope.
no. They
I'm
they
stingy. I don't want to. I
they
don't want
need
it.
yeah, they need Willis to start passing more than 5 times in a game in order for them to win a Super Bowl. That's for sure.
Right.
Oh man. All right, do we talk about the rest of the NFL now that we've gotten through the 20-17 victory of the Chiefs?
Yeah. Yeah, I see the notes you have up here.
Eagles.
Eagles still undefeated. Yep, they're still there.
I find myself cheering for them more and more the more I listen to the Kelsey Brothers
Mm-hmm.
podcast. I'm not gonna lie.
I love that podcast.
That's
I
a
really
great
do.
Such
podcast.
an entertaining podcast. They
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
so good at
Yeah.
everything that they do, I feel like.
Right.
But no, that pod is truly entertaining and good for the Eagles. Good for the Eagles. It's going to make a great story if they continue in this fashion. It's pretty exciting for them.
Absolutely.
Too bad for the Phillies, but
Yeah.
Texas is strong.
damn Astros. I'm sorry, Raw. I know you live in Texas. I don't
Actually,
know
remember
your
that.
level of loyalties to Texas teams, but
I'm still a Royals fan, so
Okay.
There we go.
all right.
I'm not watching.
I'm so sorry for
All
you.
right,
Why?
Right, exactly.
One thing I did want to touch on before we even get to the rest of these, because I don't know why I totally forgot to do it. Jets.
I
How
was
about those
about to
Jets?
say, yeah, I was about
Hey,
to say.
Hey.
I threw these slides together and I completely forgot to even mention the fact that the Jets beat the Bills. Like,
They sure
Without Breeze,
without Brees, and I mean, just like
Yeah.
the Titans kicked our teeth in on defense, they were kicking in the teeth of the Bills. It was pretty much the same scoreline, wasn't it? 2017. Let me pull it. Yeah, it was
close,
20
yeah.
to
I was
17.
yeah.
I was surprised. I was pretty surprised.
Uh,
Hey, the Bills losing, kind of helps our situation a little bit, of course, and I'm okay with
Absolutely.
it. But holy cow.
Absolutely.
Josh Allen did get injured. I think it was on the final
Yes.
play of that game, or the final drive of the game for the Bills. It's being evaluated, and most recent news is still, as of pretty much yesterday, it seems a UCL injury on his throwing arm, which is hugely important to think about.
Sure.
Nothing's out. They're not going to say anything until they know for sure. They can't speculate on
Yeah.
this
Right.
guy.
Right.
But yeah, I hope he's okay. I don't want the Chiefs to win this season because Josh Allen got injured. I want us to win it because we are better than them. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean it's I mean, like we said before, this is the Manning Brady of this generation. So it's a fun matchup. Like our hearts are racing probably during it, but it is a fun matchup seeing them both, these two talented quarterbacks on the field at the same time. Yeah, I hope he's okay. I hope it's not anything serious. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see because it does sound like they're playing it pretty close to the chest, which makes me think it might be serious. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they're not saying a lot.
Exactly.
If it wasn't, they'd be like, they would have already said, "Oh, it's not serious." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't know. Like I don't know. So yeah, we'll just have to see. If it is serious, who's their backup? Case Keenum. I mean, they still have a good team. Case Keenum's he's taken a team to the playoffs before.
Yeah.
I think he took the Vikings. What was that? 2018, 2017, or something like
when
that.
Kirk Cousins had, I think it was a shoulder injury or something like that. Yeah, that he
Right.
couldn't keep playing, so he ended up walking him through. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not out of the question. They could still keep winning unless them Jets take you over.
Jets are positioned to do it. Pod favorite.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I was just gonna say, since y'all brought up the Vikings and Kirk Cousins,
Please.
his shoulders look like they worked just fine on that ride home.
I
And
saw
he
a
was-
meme posted, sorry, and yeah, to totally interrupt you here. A meme posted like,
No.
"Oh, the MVP race we were all expecting," and it was a photo of like Kirk Cousins, Geno Smith, and Tua, and I'm just like, yeah, I never saw this one coming in a million
No.
years.
None at all whatsoever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
speaking of her mentioning his shoulders working, did we know he was that jacked? Has he always been this jacked?
No, I had no idea that was what was under the shoulder pads in the uniform. No.
Yeah, wait a minute.
He might not be wearing shoulder pads, seeing those things, man. Yeah, it might just be his actual shoulders.
His
Wow,
shoulders.
Billy fanboying over here. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
but
my
yeah, Kurt. What? So are the Vikings in first in the
They're
NFC North?
7-1.
Yeah. 7.
That's wild because no one's been talking about this.
No one's
like
talking
we
about
might be talking about this as of this week, right? But they only have one loss on the season.
Uh-huh.
That's wild. Who they lose to?
Packers in prime time, second week.
Yeah. Remember
That's
that?
right. Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
he still hasn't gone over that hump.
They
yet.
still
Maybe,
can't get past that one.
Yeah,
Doesn't
maybe
matter
that's
how
a good
big his
season.
shoulders are.
Yeah, I was like, shoulders can't help you there. Shoulders can't help you there.
But yeah, they're 7-1, second, of course, only to the Eagles. In the conference itself,
Yeah.
you're looking at like the Seahawks at 6-3 for third place.
Yeah.
A couple of 6-2 teams, and the Giants and Cowboys. So we'll see how those progress, of course.
Right.
But
Now,
yeah,
I would say going back to the Vikings real quick, looking at the people who they've beaten, not that impressed. The Bears, the Saints, the Lions, the Cardinals, they've been having their struggles.
hmm
Dolphins, I guess. Like, what are the Dolphins right now? The Dolphins are
Dolphins are 6-3.
okay. So we'll say that's a quality win.
hmm
But then the Commanders, no. Their next game, this makes their next game very interesting. It is the Bills, this week. So Vikings Bills.
If there's ever a game the Vikings are smacking for Josh Allen to be missing, it's
Yeah.
this one, because like that opens them up. Their defense is pretty great, I would say. If they are going to lose this season, it will be because of their offense and Kirk Cousins not being able to come through clutch in those big games. So this is, great opportunity for the Vikings to really win against a team that should typically beat them, and probably won't be able to, assuming, of course, that Josh Allen is not playing.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. I didn't realize. Okay, Kirk.
Which I
Rock your chains, bro.
believe, I think the Jets are on bye this coming week, but if they do go ahead, if the Vikings do go ahead and beat the Bills, that puts the Jets as number 1 in the AFC East.
We're rooting for.
Let's go.
Sorry. Injury aside, I'm still
Hey,
rooting for
hey,
this.
Brees Hall's injured, so you know what? I don't feel bad about it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they got pieces
gotta take
too.
it
We're all
preemption,
hobbling
yeah.
to the finish line for the
Right.
most part. Yeah, Brady. You said Brady. The OBJ is still not signed. Let's go to that first. Now, there's rumors. Now, the latest rumor is Dallas, and you got Jerry Jones commenting on it and stuff. I'm just kind of like, okay, if he was going to get signed here, what's the holdup? Like, what's the holdup on these teams signing him?
Yeah.
Right?
Hung, where do you think he's going to end up?
I could see him with Jerry Jones. I mean, ironically, crazy enough, I
think
could
it's a
see that
perfect fit.
happening. I don't know, because he's just right, like personality, flashiness, and everything. And they have a need for him for sure. So
Actually, do need a
I don't know.
receiver.
I feel
yeah.
like that was
So
yeah.
yeah.
So I feel
Yeah.
like that would be a good fit for him. So I mean, I've giggled at all the memes of Jerry Jones's face and OBJ that I've seen across my feed, but I feel like it would be a good fit for both sides.
Yeah, of all the places that have been rumored about signing him, I think this is the one that makes the most sense. I think it's silly, all these other teams that have been rumored about it, because it feels like they've only ever been rumored about it because those teams are doing good. And it's like, oh, well, OBJ is a good player, so he should sign to a good team, right? It's like, well, no, the Cowboys actually have a need for it. The Chiefs don't, frankly. I think they were talking about the Bills at one point signing him, and then, all these other teams.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, none of those teams need him, but the Cowboys do need him. So if he is going to go
Yeah.
anywhere, it would probably be there. But
I think the Kadarius Toney trade has kind of silenced any talk about OBJ
Yeah.
coming here, and which is rightfully so. I think like we're good on receivers, like we're good. I think,
We were good before we signed Tony, so I mean, in my
You're
opinion.
right.
But yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah, no,
no,
100%.
it's it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. I almost am willing to bet he doesn't play anywhere this year. I think I'm getting closer and closer to thinking that he's all talk and he's not going to go anywhere and be happy on his couch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
And tweeting during games saying fly passive aggressive things. And
Yeah,
deleting them later.
yeah,
It's entertaining. Keep it coming.
it's hilarious, man.
Yeah.
Do we talk about Tom Brady, Hung's favorite player in the entire universe?
Oh my god.
What happened with them? I did not watch them.
So so go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that he had one of those post game pressers where he was like all jacked up and excited and whatnot.
Oh, I did see that.
So yeah,
Yes.
that made its way around the clips. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the big and
And
most
did you like that? I combined clips and snippets and said clippets. So there's a new word for y'all.
We're
There
taking
we
that
go.
one. We're taking that
Again,
Hung
my brain's
original.
not working. So there you go.
Long original.
one. Hung
Oh,
classic.
anyways, yeah. So thoughts, y'all, on not on Clippets, but on the Bucks and Tom Brady this past weekend's performance.
So
Not impressive.
I mean, one and first and foremost, yeah, I see it here now. I'm screwing things up too. Congratulations to him on passing that 100,000-yard mark. I think that's
Yeah.
the first player to ever do that. Won't be the last. I'm sure Mahomes will do it in about 3 or 4 more games. But
Exactly.
100%.
no, first player to ever do that. So I know that's a lot of the reason he was really emotional. But on top of that, he put the team. And we're talking about Mahomes putting the Chiefs on his back. Brady did it too, and I think that's something we can't forget is because he did about a 35-second drive in order to win the game for the Rams. And that's not something you see every 45-year-old doing, right? Like they were down, they needed to get a touchdown in order to, walk away with a win here, and lo and behold, got exactly what he needed. 35 seconds. So to me, it's always a lot of fun to see a sub 1 minute drive to win.
Yeah.
Because they covered that. How long was this drive? This drive was a 54-yard drive, so they're getting 2 yards a second almost across 8 plays, and they started at their own 40. Like that's not chump change.
That's nothing like a 13-second drive,
Yeah, when did that happen? Who was that against? Can you remind us?
Oh, that was I think it was in January when I sprained my ankle. Yeah, that game. Yeah.
It's true, starting to come out about how you sprained the ankle. Yeah.
I forgot about that. She actually got injured during
this. Have y'all not? No, what?
Yeah, I don't think we.
No, we talked about this.
Did we?
No,
Okay,
I remember this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, she got injured during the game. Yes, I remember this.
Yeah.
A little too excited out there.
Yeah, just a tad. But no. Big props, Tom Brady, getting this done. He was creeping so close to that 100,000 mark, and so it would have been very surprising if this was a game that did not help him reach that number. But
yeah, we should temper excitement about it a little bit because he did
another thing to add to his NFL resume.
Right.
I was gonna say, where do y'all think this ranks between beating a between this and his wedding day? What do you think ranks higher?
Oh, this 1,000%.
This.
Especially if you were to ask him right now, I'm sure.
Faux show.
Faux show. Oh man, shoot! I know it would for me. That's for sure. Come on! If I passed 100,000, yeah, come on. Absolutely. All time, yeah.
Yeah, I just have 100,000 to go.
right.
Yeah.
You gotta start somewhere. Journey of 1,000 miles or whatever it is. Starts with 1 foot.
Yeah. There you go.
The very first step.
Oh man.
That's right.
All right. What else do we got? Joe Mixon and the Bengals.
All right. So I did not get to see any of this game, but holy cow, was this like his 4 touchdown game?
4. Try 5.
Yeah.
Okay, 5.
Please.
Holy cow!
No, yeah,
Whoever
four
had
of
Joe
them.
Mixon.
I did.
Oh,
Oh my God, I
see,
did.
yeah, way to go!
It was so
Congratulations, Billy.
beautiful. Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah, he won me my fantasy game for sure. I mean, I also had
How
Tua in
many
the New England
points?
defense. Let me pull it
Ooh.
up real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, we need how many points? Because I feel like if you had Joe Mixon this weekend, no matter how your league is set up for score points and such, you would single-handedly win, even if all your other players did nothing.
In
Maybe
our
even negative
league,
points.
he got me 55 points.
Oh my
Hmm.
heavens.
Yeah,
Damn.
Wow. Wow.
definitely a good week for me. That's for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is like they did this against the Panthers. So the Panthers are just in absolute shambles right now. The one thing
They
that they
are.
had been holding on to was this like, defensive play that they had. They had a pretty decent defense, and then this happens. At 42 points scored against them, five of them all coming from one player. Or five of the six come from one player. The sixth one came from Joe Burrow scrambling in for a touchdown. But man, yeah, it's Joe Mixon just had their number and absolutely decimated them. He ran for 153 yards. He caught 58 yards worth of passes, and on top of his one touchdown. Just a brutal, brutal beating. Is crazy to
Right.
see.
Oh my heavens. What a game for them. Wow.
Any other games this week that we want to talk about? I have one. I guess okay. We can. There's two. I suppose we could talk about. Miami, Chicago,
Put them up.
surprisingly good game.
Ooh.
Justin
Yeah.
Fields.
Yeah.
How far
Very
did he
high
run
scoring.
for? Justin
Real-
Fields, I think, set the single game rushing record for a quarterback with this game, and he
How
rushed.
many?
He rushed for 178 yards.
Holy
Hey.
cow.
Coming into his own, is he? Is it
Uh,
time? Because he had a good game
uh,
versus the Cowboys too.
Maybe.
Wow.
I mean, he still only threw for 123 yards. He threw for less yardage than he
Mhm.
actually ran for. But,
Gotcha.
17 of 28 completions with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. Hard to be mad about that.
Right.
If there is a time for Justin Fields to start showing up, it's probably now with the decline of Aaron Rodgers, because that's the other game I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Packers losing to the Detroit Lions. I
Wow.
just, man.
Do
Wow.
yourself a favor. Go on like YouTube and just look up like local news in Milwaukee and Green Bay, just like over that game. Like they're hurt out there. They're not happy about that one.
I
Yeah.
need to look this up. I haven't.
Oh, really treat yourself and look up Lil Wayne's tweet about it too, because he is not happy. He's a huge,
Lil Wayne tweeted about
he's a
it?
Yeah,
huge
he's a
Packers fan. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers 23-43, so he completed less than half of what he attempted pretty much, and 3 interceptions against the Detroit Lions, who just traded away their one offensive weapon.
Oh.
Yeah, it's painful.
Oh.
That's painful.
Wow.
Hung's got a video up, right? Yeah, is that
Oh. Wow. Wow.
Oh man.
Wow, he went hard. Oh.
I'll have to look this up now. I didn't
Me
look that
too.
up.
So, for anybody who's listening, watching, it says, rest in peace to the season. We should have gotten rid of 12 before the season.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
He's not wrong.
just
Oh.
hilarious.
Oh my God, I love it. Kay Adams, response on his tweet. Wheezy, we gotta talk about this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Well, there we go. All right. What else about the game did you want to talk about?
It was a game that nobody wanted to win, so here we go. You want to?
No.
I'm just going to list out the drives here. I'm going to tell you how every drive ended. Detroit Lions started
Okay.
with the ball, turnover on downs. Green Bay got the ball, interception. Detroit, punt. Green Bay, interception. Detroit, punt. Green Bay, turnover on downs. Detroit finally gets a touchdown. The half ends. Green Bay punts it. Detroit interception. Green Bay
Oh my
interception. Detroit punt.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, and then they got a couple of touchdowns, field goal, and then at the end of the game, Detroit turnover on downs. Green Bay turnover on downs, and then the game ended.
Wow. Nobody wanted to win. That
Nobody-
is crazy.
That's just. It was so funny. I'm over here just laughing so hard about this game, and man, I know exactly how Green Bay fans were feeling. That's for sure.
They're down bad
Wow.
out there.
Down bad. All right. Looking forward to week 10.
Do it.
Oh, yes.
Other than what's going to actually happen in week 10, Ra, I know you sent us around a little bit of two things of news. First and foremost, Chiefs game against the Chargers on 11/20, so that's the week after this one, is flexed to a Sunday night game.
Yep.
Kate's going to love to hear
Prime
that.
again.
Kate's going to love
The
to hear that
Steelers,
because we made
Bengals.
plans,
Oh.
Oh,
of course.
I was
Um,
like, these are your plans.
So yeah, it's going to become a part of our plans. But the other big news from the Chiefs and looking forward that you sent out, and it was just a rumor if I'm right, but Bieniemy for the Colts.
Yeah, and it's not even a rumor that he was actually even interviewed. It was more just like, you know how they do. There's another vacancy. His name got thrown into the pot. Do you
Right.
think there's an actual chance of it? At this point, I don't know, but we'll see, right? It would be nice. It would be nice for him to actually get something, finally get that spot. I mean, how many vacancies
So
is it going to take?
so you say it'd be nice for him, but if you're Eric Bieniemy and you're offered the job of the Colts and you're looking at your quarterback is Matt Ryan, who's about 2 minutes from being injured for the rest of his life and never able to play again or retiring. You look at them spending more money than anyone has ever spent on an offensive line who still can't protect him at all, period. They're probably playing worse than they were playing last year, even. And then your one good player in Jonathan Taylor is just constantly on the injury list. Are you even
Mhm.
thinking about taking that job, or do you hold out and wait and see if there's a better job to take?
So to reverse that back at you, if he doesn't take the job, do you think that looks bad on him versus for future jobs? You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Like,
no,
do
that's
people
fair.
start passing
Yeah.
him up?
Because it'd be like, all
Don't.
right, you don't even want this job. Why would we give you our job kind of thing?
Right.
But yeah,
It's
I
tough.
hear what you're saying,
Uh-huh.
1,000%. It's not a good situation over there. So there's a part of me like you got to start somewhere, right? But then there's also a part of me knowing like coaches, especially let's be real, black coaches don't get that much of a shot. So you get like 1, maybe 2 years to turn this dog around. Yeah, yeah, that's a tough sell. You're right. That is a tough sell.
And I think like the reason why I would almost err on the side of him probably not even wanting it, like not even wanting to interview and all that kind of stuff. And who knows how much to an extent he can just hide behind the Chiefs and let Clark Hunt take the heat and say, no, we won't let you interview him kind of thing.
Right.
Right.
It's that whole point of like, you were saying minority coaches just do not get a chance to even get into the room. And when they finally do, they're still not getting the job. If he was to be given this job in the state that it's in, they will fail. You're not going to
Right.
coach this team back up in the next couple of years. This is a 5
But,
plus,
but
duration.
isn't that part of the conversation too with the minority coaches? It's like they are given positions that are set up to fail,
Hmm.
right? They are
Absolutely.
given teams and personnel where in a situation where they are set up to fail, where you just cannot succeed with what you currently have. So, and then it's a way for them to be able to say, well, we did give this minority coach an opportunity and he just couldn't do anything with what he was given. And so therefore we have to fire him before his contract is up.
Yeah. And then
Right.
we'll bring in, Jimmy from down the road and, oh yeah, look,
Yeah.
we just spent a whole bunch of money and got amazing draft picks and he just so happens to start winning kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a tough spot to be in, but yeah, I can also see 100% where you're saying is like he finally gets offered a position. How can you turn that down?
Yeah. And see, and this is the thing too with Eric Bieniemy here for us is that we have seen this time and time again. And it's like, if he doesn't take this position, then than what really is happening, what really is going on. And then I feel like he's going to miss his boat entirely for head coaching if he's offered something like this and he rejects it, knowing that he's probably going to be given an impossible task of turning things around within a reasonable amount of time for ownership.
Now,
but yeah. And then we get caught with the whole, well, Eric's still here. That holds up the whole coaching tree within our own organization. Again, that conversation comes back about, right? So what do we do?
Cry. Just and hope for the best. Do you think there's any weight to this? And I can't even remember where I saw it, but people talking about the fact that, like Jeff Saturday just kind of fell into the job. That's hurtful to minority coaches because they were very clearly not even given an opportunity at playing interim. Or do you just like not even care because it's a temporary role? They didn't give them the head coaching job. They just gave them hey, you're coaching until we find your replacement.
Yeah, I think you got to have somebody coach the team next week, right? You know what I'm saying? This was not true. They never really go through like a true interview process when they fire a coach mid-season. They always have to go kind of like,
plug and play.
Just like on the field. Yeah, just plug and play. And
next man up mentality when it comes to coaches.
100%. Yeah, but no, I think
I understand, right? That I get and I understand because you're mid-season. I get it. So, and especially they just lost their offensive coordinator, the week before too. So, I mean, we're talking two key components in the coaching staff there that needs to they really just need to plug and play, move ahead.
So obviously the next lineup is Peyton Manning's old center. It's like, all right, bring him in. Let's go. Let's see what happens.
You help them win.
Yeah, right.
They're not doing
I was about to say, and so congratulations to the Colts for winning the Super Bowl this year.
Right.
It'd be amazing. All right. So we finally. God, imagine. I
guess, and I know I'm the one that said plug and play, but this guy's coaching career is nearly non-existent, So I guess that's the fact that yes, he has experience playing in the NFL. He has experience. He was a former Colt. But coaching experience.
I don't think he's even coached at the collegiate level, has he? Or if he has, it's been
I don't.
Harry's School for the Blind or something, right?
Well, it's close. It's Hebron Christian Academy, but
perfect. Stalwarts in the division, whatever.
Both started with an H, So, but yeah, it's a private school, small school in Georgia that he coached at for 3 years. Not even.
Oh my Lord!
They just watched that video, the NFL Films video where he gets into Peyton's face, and they're like, "Yeah, he can do it. He can, tell
stand
players
up
what
to
to
authority."
If he can stand up to Manning, then yeah, he can stand up to anyone.
Oh,
well, so this ought to be interesting.
It's going to go as poorly as I think everyone's anticipating. So.
Well, apparently the Colts ownership too can't get any worse than what they've experienced already, according to them. So.
Right.
But see, and then to me, as somebody from the outside looking in, I'm like, well, this is almost watching the rest of this season just to see how this shitstorm's going to play out,
Honestly, yeah. Now, it does make it interesting. It does add intrigue to the Colts season where there was none before.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is as close as you come to getting some random person off the street to say, "Hey, you want to coach the Colts for the interim? Be their interim head coach?"
What are you doing Sunday? You got any plans? We need someone to show up, just be a body for about 4 hours. Are you okay? Are you clear? Are you good to go? Yeah, absolutely.
Well, do we give his experience as an analyst any credit on there or no?
Ask Gruden. How's Gruden doing? I mean, no, okay. A point with Gruden though, he did coach before becoming an analyst, but it's I don't. What's the old adage? Those who can't do teach, those who can't teach Jim. It's the same thing with analyst. I feel it's if you can't or you stop being able to play very well, and then you can't coach. You
Oh,
go and you be an
oh,
analyst. I mean, Mark Sanchez, come on, guy's
oh,
being paid
yeah.
millions of dollars to show up every weekend talking about football, and the only thing he's ever even known for is the butt fumble. Like, it's
Oh,
so I don't
Mhm.
think that gives you I now that being said, he can easily show me how wrong I am about it, and he obviously, just like any other analyst, knows 20 times as much as I know about football, if not significantly more. So maybe it will translate over. I just don't think it will, because I think there's a huge difference from being able to criticize somebody's actions after those actions took place compared to being the one to trigger those actions as a coach.
yeah.
Right. Well, who do they play next? I guess he starts right away, right? Like,
Yeah,
so who are
he's in the
they?
mix right
Who's next?
now. I am looking for
Let's
it.
see.
Raiders. Perfect. That's the
Oh
dream
yeah,
game
that's
to
the game of the
play.
week.
That's why. That's
That's
why
the
they
game
brought
of
it
the
up for
week.
the off
I'll be turning that
I
one on.
mean,
Yeah.
one of us could have stepped into this role just fine this
Oh
week.
my
I mean,
God.
we're talking about kickers and their short-lived couple-week stint. One of us could have stepped in
We
for a
could
week
have
and
done
made a
this.
little money, and one walked away. Like I would have walked away. I wouldn't talk crap on your team. I mean, sign the NDA. We're good.
The flex
Man.
up the prime time.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my
please do.
wow.
Oh, yeah, what's the primetime
Well,
game that night? Is it a Broncos game probably? Oh, no, it's Chargers
Right.
49ers, another freaking highlight of the season.
mm,
Man.
mm.
All right. Um I think I made this joke earlier, of course, with Kirk Cousins, but this MVP race, Geno Smith is in the running right now for a solid MVP win. Thoughts on that?
Good for him.
Never in a million years would I have ever even placed like $1 on a bet that he would win
No,
MVP. I
no.
just,
But he would garner some votes right now. As of right now, he
yeah,
would certainly garner some votes. So big props to him. Because, jokes on who now,
right.
with that crazy trade that was made. So kudos to him. I definitely would not have seen that coming either. Would not have put that name in the mix whatsoever.
Right. No, not even close. But they're it's 6-3 right now in the
Hmm.
NFC West, so they're pretty much going to win. I think they at this point we can almost say they have locked up the NFC West just because of how
Hmm.
bad the other teams are playing. Um, I mean, I don't think anyone really gave the Seahawks a thought and a prayer when it came to this. Everyone's going to be assuming the Rams or
No.
49ers win this division, no problem. Seahawks probably at the bottom even below the Cardinals and put them in fourth place when Geno Smith's your quarterback and Russell Wilson just left Flames behind. But I mean, shoot, you tell me now, who do you want to be your quarterback for your team, Russell Wilson or Geno Smith? And I'm picking Geno Smith all day, every day.
Yeah.
Love it. I mean, I'm happy for him. He's a journeyman. He's like uh you like seeing those guys. Like I'm blanking the beard.
Oh, Ryan
Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick, yeah.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick. Yeah, he's doing the Fitz magic thing right now.
Yeah, yeah. Or even go so low as like Chase Daniels or
Mm.
who's our Chad Henne, yeah, it's like we can't give props to any
Did
Missouri
Chase
quarterback.
Daniels did he lead a whole season?
He did a significant chunk for who was it? It was one of those West Coast teams, I feel. Here, hold on, let me see if I
God.
can figure this out. But he did I think it was the Chargers one year, wasn't it? That he like played about half the games of the season and they didn't do
We
too
should
bad. Or
ask our resident Mizzou expert
yeah.
over there. Just for
I
no.
I follow him now. I still follow him, and he does.
Bears.
I
It was
don't.
the Bears.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say he still was getting passed around and making some money off of these various franchises. I don't know. He's smart.
Dream
You know,
job.
Oh yeah.
Dream
right? I mean,
job. You could trade
as
your
much as you
life with
can
one
out of the
NFL
system.
player. That would be Chase.
Yeah, let's see.
Uh,
The most games he's played for an organization. Okay, in 2011 and 2012, he played 16 games for the Saints. So he did start for a little bit when it came to the Saints. Didn't do very well, but hey, he's there. And then when it came to actual competition, 5 games in 2018 for the Bears, including 2 starts. Did pretty well there. So, wait, no, I'm
yeah.
sorry. Yeah, this is just games he dressed up for. What games played? Yeah, 16 games with the Saints, but didn't start any of those. So those were all, plug and play things. What a
Well,
player.
cool.
What a hero to us all.
All right, we got to move on.
All right, all
I'm gonna
right,
start
all
getting
right.
depressed when I think about the money he's made.
All right. What else?
He's
We
made
talked
a
about the
horrible
Josh
move.
Allen injury already.
Yeah.
What else is out there that's making you all look forward to week 10?
It's funny. I didn't actually know. As far as like other games, I'm just looking at the schedule right now. I mean, we were just talking about Geno Smith. So is that the Germany game? It's the
Yes.
Seahawks
Oh
and
yeah, sorry,
Buccaneers.
Germany. Yeah, will be
Yeah,
Seahawks Buccaneers. If for no
that
other
might
reason, turn that game on to check out the stadium they're playing in. It's Bayern Munich
right,
Stadium. Freaking gorgeous. It's on my bucket list of stadiums to
right.
visit at some point in time. Just amazing looking stadium. And then yeah, Seahawks Bucks should be a fun game.
Yeah, I was just gonna say everything we've kind of just talked about has added a lot of intrigue to that game. So I might actually get up for my first London game of the season.
Or
Might actually have to wake
Wow.
up for that. And also the Minnesota Buffalo, we were talking about that. Like that, there's intrigue there now that like we know that the Vikings are 7-1. We'll see what happens with the Allen injury. I think it's serious. I mean, we could do. I don't know if I want to do write the receipts on that because it's not
no,
like I'm
no,
rooting for
yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm not rooting for that, but just kind of the way that the team is acting. I think we definitely see Case Keenum this week and probably a couple weeks moving forward. But there is some intrigue there because apparently the Vikings are good.
And they're
I
not
do
in
want
prime
to see
time,
that.
Yeah.
so it'll be a competition.
Right, right, exactly. Bears, Detroit. Nope, still not interested in that. I don't care. I know that we think that the Bears are starting to do something now, but no.
It's not enough to get me interested, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's
Cleveland, Miami, no. Houston, New York, no. Oh God, Saints, Pittsburgh, absolutely
I
not. That
and
sounds
and I did
awful.
notice you skipped the Thursday night game. Are you not getting excited for this? What is it? Falcons Panthers? Is that not something
I
that's
think my brain skipped it. I didn't even realize that was right there.
your
Yeah,
brain was saving you. Your
my
brain was
brain just probably
saving you.
mentally blocked it out. I was like,
Yes.
"There's a Thursday night game."
It's a
Yeah, no.
response. It's a trauma response.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh my
You know.
yeah.
god.
Yeah, no, no interest. Cowboys, Green Bay. No, I think that's gonna be terrible. Yeah. So, oh yeah, Colts. Okay, so I'm interested in the games this week just from all the stuff we kind of talked about today. Like, you guys have sold me on Colts Raiders.
Colts Raiders.
I want to
We're
see.
gonna watch just for the coaching aspect.
Yes, I want to see this.
Oh
The prime time is Chargers Niners.
man. Ew.
Meh.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And
I'll watch it
then
while I'm playing Call of Duty. That's
yeah,
that's what's gonna happen for me.
yeah. Other than that, I mean, obviously, I'm kind of more into, I'm interested in seeing what this Chiefs Jags game looks like. We haven't played them in
It's been
few
a little
seasons.
bit, yeah. It's been a few seasons.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
it'll go a whole lot easier on the blood pressure and heart rate than this last weekend. So.
Don't count on it.
All right.
Yeah. Right? Chiefs.
Exactly.
They're the comeback kids. Expect them to fall behind and then come back after
Yeah.
what, double digits.
See,
That's what we've been doing.
I think that was our issue in this game this past weekend, right? This is my new conspiracy theory. We never at any point in time went down double digits against the Titans.
No.
Right. Oh yeah, so you're saying that's the reason?
That's the
Like, we
reason why it was
almost.
such a close nail biter. We needed to be losing by 10 plus points at some point in order to turn that game
Yeah.
Oh,
around, you know?
could you even
Had to,
imagine? I don't know that I, as a fan watching it against a team like the Titans, to have that great of a deficit. I don't know. I might not have made it.
Patrick Mahomes is 13-9 when down by 10 points or
It's
more.
nutty.
Ooh.
And yeah, Chiefs Jags. Let's do it, keep the receipts, and then do we want to talk about this coming Thursday too, Ra?
I might let y'all
Uh,
talk about it because I have to
She's gonna have
excuse
to go, yeah.
myself. Yes, I
well, let's go
apologize.
ahead. Yeah, I mean, we're getting close to time. Let's go ahead and get our predictions, and yeah, we can definitely talk about Thursday next. But Hong, where
Well,
are you at?
Raw predicts that the Jags are going to win 60-0.
60 to
I'm
0,
here this
perfect.
week, so no, that's definitely not the case. No.
Raw, you go first. You go
Yeah,
first.
what do you got for
Go
us,
ahead.
Ra?
Let's go 28-7, Chiefs.
28 set. Ooh, okay.
Like it?
Gonna
Okay.
be a slaughter.
And how much are the Jags going to beat us by, Hung? What do you think?
Well, I'm gonna say that they're not going to beat
Ooh,
us.
okay.
So thank you very
You
much.
snuck
I
by me
will say
there.
that the Chiefs win. No, let's go 34-10. Be nice and give them a
34-10.
few
All
points.
right.
Yeah.
I think there's some superstitious Chiefs fan listening to this. Like, why y'all keep saying it?
Oh man. All right, I'm going to keep it a little lower than you all have even. I'm going to go 24-14.
Okay.
You know,
Alrighty.
just if for no other reason than anytime I predict a score higher than 24, we don't score anywhere near 24. So, got to keep it on the
Fair
lower
enough.
side so that we, keep clocking it in.
All right. Fair enough.
All right, Hung, I know you were just mentioning that you probably got to go here. Did you want to pass out where to find everyone can find you?
Oh, yes, thank you. I will do that before I have to exit here, y'all. Yes, you can find me football season. I'm very active on Twitter. I'd say Instagram is also a great place to find me. You can find me my first and last name, Hong Forrest, HUONG FORREST. So hope y'all come for the inspiration, stay for the light, the passion, the mom life, and as always, Chiefs football. So that's where you guys can find me. And I'll let the boys do their sign offs as soon as they wrap up. Y'all wrap up Thursday night.
Yeah. Yeah, Raw, talking about Thursday then. We're going to be doing a one-off special little deal here. What are we calling them? Sidelines, is that right?
Sideline discussion. The name is subject to change, but yeah, we like doing this, and so we've been thinking maybe just come up with some ideas, some other things to talk about that's not necessarily always related to what's going on the field. So off to the side, hence the name, the sideline discussion.
Yeah,
You know,
typically it seems like we save those for a lot of pop culture. We're all
sure.
three of us big movie buffs for sure, TV buffs even. Especially in the off season, we talk about it a lot. This week's going to be a little bit more of a serious discussion, of course. One of the things that really kind of led me towards this topic is, and we haven't talked about it on the podcast. Dan Snyder has announced that he would like to sell at least a minority share, if not the entirety, of the Washington Commanders. This has only come up, I think, in the last couple of weeks here. Incredibly surprising considering how much money he just spent on rebranding the team, and now he wants to sell it. Uh,
Right.
is the sale happening because, or did the rebrand happen because he had the intention to sell and knew he probably couldn't sell Redskins as a name around there? Who knows for sure? But one thing I did want us to start talking about, and geopolitical terms is this phrase sports washing. Um, I know I think it was 2 weeks back or whatever, we talked about the World Cup and my intention to not watch a single game at all. That continues to remain true. Sports washing has a lot to do with that. For those of you who do not know what sports washing is, the basic definition is with the intention of a body, typically a government at this point in time, purchasing a sports organization in order to soften the image that they have in the world. The greatest example of this right now is Abu Dhabi with ownership over, or sorry, not Abu Dhabi. They're not the ones who own it. But the Sheikh family that does own the Manchester City and all of their conglomerate, the New York FC soccer team is a good example of that. And they also just have, I think, something like 9 total sports franchises around the world, specifically in soccer, that they utilize to help soften their image as a incredibly corrupt, oil-rich country in the Middle East. The
Right.
World Cup has also been a part of this with Qatar out there winning the World Cup through blatant bribery that has been proven over and over again, and there are people spending time in jail now because of it. But Qatar won the World Cup in order to attempt to sports wash their image around the world. We see Russian business magnates owning teams in the EPL. Saudi Arabia recently just bought a team in the EPL. All of this. So I wanted to take an opportunity to talk about sports washing, explain it, have people ask questions about it, and look at it from a view of, could this happen in the NFL?
Absolutely. And we'll leave it right there. That's just a little tease for y'all.
Yeah.
Just a little tease for next week.
Thursday. Yeah.
Or Thursday, I'm sorry,
No,
not
no,
next week. No,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I was looking forward to. I was looking at our slide, looking forward to week 10.
Right.
That's where my brain went.
Yeah, we haven't talked about a time. I assume somewhere probably around this 8 p.m. slot. I know I'll be without Kate. She'll be up in Wisconsin doing her thing, so I'm a free man. So whatever works best for you, we'll announce it on Twitter. I'll schedule a video for it. If you have any
Yeah, for me,
questions, oh, sorry.
yeah, it's definitely gonna be. Well, I was just gonna say definitely the 8 p.m. for me.
Mm.
Barring any thing, I am gonna I'll say it might be earlier because I was actually gonna take work off because I have to get some things done with my car. Then I'm gonna go try to see the new Black Panther at some point.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's
yeah,
right. Perfect.
absolutely,
Awesome. So yeah,
absolutely.
if anyone has any questions about it, drop us something in the Twitter DMs, post on our page itself, and I'll do all the research and get you those answers.
Yeah, come debate. Bring
Absolutely.
your hottest tech. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, please. God, oh man, it'll be great. So, all right, cool. Yeah, I don't think we really had anything else to talk about this week.
No, too bad Hong left. Just did want to mention real quick, also kind of unrelated to the Chiefs, but going back to football and going back to Kansas City. We did the Kansas Jayhawks clinched bowl eligibility this weekend. As it stands right now, CBS is predicting that KU and Mizzou potentially meet up in the Liberty Bowl.
Man,
And just how awesome would that be for the city?
I need it. I don't
Yeah,
I know there's like a billion factors that go into who or
sure.
what bowl games get handed out. But if the NCAA doesn't do everything in their power to make this happen, I think they're missing an amazing opportunity.
Absolutely. And in Memphis too. Like, so we'll get
Shoot.
to compare barbecue out there. We're planning to go if that is the game. It's still what we still have like 4 or 5 weeks to go left in the
Hmm.
season.
Yeah, and then you end up
So
with like what, 3 weeks off for them to hand out all the games or what. I forget exactly how it happens, but
yeah, see what happens when you don't watch college football because your team sucks every year.
yeah, it's
You
just
don't really
like
know how it works.
I honestly didn't even know there was a Liberty Bowl until this past couple of weeks. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
know what I didn't care. Listen. All I wanted to know is if we was going to a bowl. I didn't care if it was in like Twin Falls, Idaho. I was
Right.
gonna make it happen. I was going.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No, we did it. We got bowl eligible. Unreal.
yeah.
I thought we were going to do what KU always does and get to the point of almost bowl eligibility and then just not able to slide it in the rest of the way. So,
They whooped
oh,
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State, what a game,
It
man.
was a whooping. I was shocked. I expected. I mean, when I had checked the score, I was expecting a little bit closer, and then like by the time I had checked it again, because I was I was kind of out and about. I couldn't really watch the game as the way I wanted to. I only was able to get the updates from my Fox Sports app. But yeah, yeah, it was whew,
It was
not even close.
it was a heck of a good one.
Yeah, but yeah, that's just a little something we're looking forward to. Other than that, we are just looking forward to seeing y'all this Thursday, and then of course seeing y'all next week after this another week of games.
Heck
It'll
yeah,
be fun.
absolutely. All right, cool. Sign offs.
Absolutely. Where can they find you?
Where am I at? Twitter. Yeah, everyone should be thanking the Lord that election day is today, and I'll finally shut up about politics for about 5 seconds on Twitter. And you can find me there at Chef Doobles, ChefDoobles. Love to tweet during the games, especially if I'm watching them all alone. So I'll be live tweeting quite a bit this coming weekend. Otherwise, I've been really bad about it lately, but you can find me on my stream, youtube.com/ and then the @ symbol, Chef Doobles. Thank goodness
Ooh,
YouTube has finally started to put out this whole handles thing, and State of the Kingdom has one too now.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. Well, yeah, people.
How about you?
You can find me at The Almighty Raw on Instagram and Twitter. You can find our show Twitter page at SOT Kingdom KC. You can find us on YouTube, State of the Kingdom. We are a football podcast, so if you see one talking about video games and you see like Donald Duck, you're on the wrong show.
You can actually go to youtube.com/ @State of the Kingdom, and it should pull up
Well,
our
there you
page.
go. There you go. That's the
But
handle. Yeah, there we go.
if
We
you
can
see
get to us now.
if you see Donald Duck, you went to the wrong one.
You're still in the wrong spot. Yeah.
Oh,
No
man.
Donald Duck here unless it's after the team won the Super Bowl and then they're in Disney World. That's probably the only time you would see that.
There we
But
go. Too
but yeah,
funny.
people,
All right.
it'll be another great week of football. We'll see y'all like we said on Thursday, but until then, enjoy your week. We are looking forward to hopefully another Chiefs dub and go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.